Hi y'all, it's Nydea Graves. Just coming in to let you know that this episode was recorded before the unfortunate passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We mourn her, and may her memory be a blessing to all of us. She is a dynamic woman who sat on the Supreme Court for every year of my life, and has a very complex history, but overall a history of fighting for liberation for people like me, queer femme folks, and women, and really made women's rights human rights, fighting for our reproductive health and fighting for our reproductive rights, fighting for our rights to buy a home on our own, fighting for our rights to exist in the world the same way others, especially men, are afforded to. So may Ruth RBG's memory be a blessing. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, this is Democratic Voices, and I'm Nydea Graves.
And I'm Kyle Hudson.
Pennsylvania is such an important state this election. People, you are in Pennsylvania. We are a very important swing state with 23 electoral college votes that Trump is really after PA here. If you notice, he's been popping up all around the state, really trying to get our working class voters to vote for him as if he has any of our best interests at heart. We have to take a stand as a state and really hold down Chester County. There are parties in the other counties that are going to make sure, right, that their county swings blue. But we need to keep, because I don't know if anyone noticed this on election night on when Pennsylvania turned red. There was this tiny little blue piece when they zoomed the camera in, and it was Chester County. And I know we have, a history that is not historically like that. We need to defend our blue county, because when I go to my statewide organization and we go ahead on election night, all of the counties, right, we want to be blue. But I want to say we had a blue Chester County because we came out, we showed up, and we made sure that we did not have another Trump presidency. I think that's the best thing that we can do.
And that's how you do it. Everyone does their little part. That's how you do something big, right? That's how you do something big, is everyone does something small, and that adds up.
There's going to be a national poll worker shortage. That already has been projected. Most of our poll workers are people who are over 60, and so in a very vulnerable group. Not only do we need poll workers in the polling places, but we need people who are really going to push all the Democrats on our ballot, who are standing outside of the polls and making sure that people get the literature that they need and sample ballots to really make sure that they are voting for the candidates who are endorsed by the Democratic Party and who are going to represent them best in this time.
And I think poll working is a very simple, very easy way to get involved. It's not a huge commitment. You just have to show up. What is it, a shift for like 6 hours or something like that? How exactly does it work, Nydea?
So usually you can register with your zone leader. She or they or he will let you know what their shifts that are open are, which shifts need coverage. And most of the time it's about a 4-hour shift to work as a poll worker to make sure that each poll is covered all day. And you'll be there. You'll have a poll certification if you're a committee person, so you can go in and check the numbers periodically. But you stand there and you just push for our candidates. And people sometimes are not as politically active as people who are involved with the party. And so they really trust you to be able to tell them more about candidates if they're still undecided on election day.
And that's a good thing to bring up too. Not everyone is as, going to every meeting like you and I are, being, going to all this stuff. And that's okay. That's totally fine. But we do need one day a year. We need you one day, and we need you on November 3rd. And if you're not registered to vote, you can still get registered.
If you are in Coatesville on Saturday the 19th, you can come for the Bridge to Bridge registration. We are going to be registering voters all day in Coatesville from bridge to bridge. Rock the Vote will be out there registering voters, And I think there'll be a Biden parade that'll crash the party.
Look, I know that like everything going on right now, maybe you don't want to get involved, right? But let's be honest, we have an opportunity to change things. Like a lot of times people will tell you this is the most important election of your life, right? And if you're a millennial, I am going to say that to you, but it has nothing to do with anyone that's on the ballot. It has to do with if you're a millennial like Nydea or I, this is the first time we are the largest voting bloc in America. You and all the people you went to high school with get to decide the direction of our country moving forward for probably another couple decades. But this is the first time. And so if you're a millennial, this is the most important election of your life. There's going to be a lot of other ones after this that are going to be important, and I'm sure people are going to tell you that's the most important election of your life too. But this one is unique for our age group, and we have an actual chance to leave a mark. Now, maybe the person you wanted to be the candidate isn't the candidate, but that doesn't mean that we give up on our ideas, because let's be honest, concepts, I was a big Andrew Yang fan. I worked for Andrew Yang in the primary. Things like universal basic income are not going to happen under Republican administration. They're basically non-starters.
Yeah, I mean, I was a huge Bernie bro. I think, most people really knew that about me. And one of the big things that really just helped me settle around, like, this is what we need to come together and do, is just a lot of the tension and injustice that we're feeling. Us fighting against that, fighting for Medicare for all, will never happen under Trump. You cannot reason with someone who isn't reasonable. When FDR passed the New Deal, he was no big labor guy. The labor movement really pushed him in that direction. And so millennials, please don't stop fighting for the things that you want and that you need and that you'll see in this country just because the candidate for president isn't your first choice. You can always negotiate. You can always pressure him, just like how movements have done in the past. Movements have really always shaped politics more than politicians.
And I can speak from experience because unlike Nydea, I have lost an election and it does stink. It stinks. But when you look across the aisle, I mean, when you look to the person who maybe beat you or beat your candidate in the thing, if it was a primary, I mean, and they're a Democrat, there are fundamental things that we all share, right? Mm-hmm. We all believe in, the value of human life, the sanctity of our privacy, and and those are things that we all share as Democrats. We are always going to argue about the specifics. It's what we are as a party. I guarantee you, Nydea and I don't agree on everything.
Yeah.
The core ideas of freedom, fairness, equality, those are the things that we have to fight for. And I promise you, we're not always going to win, but this one we have to win. This is the one that we need to make a mark as a generation and say, we deserve better. And if you look around and you think the country's on fire and we have a chance to change this in like a little bit over a month. We have a chance to change this, but we can't do it without you.
Yeah, we need to stop living in the dystopian nightmare that is Trump's America. This has been the roughest 4 years. I remember 2016 when Trump got elected, and I was like, this is the worst year ever. And boy, am I humbled by 2020, because we are now dealing with a president who has let a global pandemic and continued racial injustice and continued xenophobia really just tear our country apart and make it so fearful for people who are in the out group of some of this stuff to even be here. On November 3rd, that's what I'm going to be thinking about at the polls. I have a vision for America where where people who look like me and Kyle are both in solidarity with each other. And I know that's not where we are now. And I know that the current candidate doesn't have this revolutionary platform, but there is no way that I can have another 4 years of a Trump America and feel safe being an American. And that's what I'm thinking about on November 3rd.
Yeah, so join Nydea and I. Look, we're going to vote for Biden, and then we're going to push him.
I know that the America I want to see is impossible to push for with Trump as a president. As you can see, he'll continue to suppress us. He'll continue to send the National Guard out to protesters. He'll continue to really come down hard against any political dissonance, and that is a fascist incarnation of this great nation.
And it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie to you either. Nothing worth doing is ever easy. If it was, it would have already been done. So this is going to take a lot of work, and that means we're going to need your help. We're going to need your help in a lot of different things. If you can donate money, not everyone can, but if you can, even just a couple bucks.
For some of my favorite campaigns, I am sustaining donors to their campaign to really make sure that not only are they starting to collect the money that they need to run their campaign early on, but to make sure they continue to have it. And remember, it is really hard for working class people to run for political office. Your work hours are the same hours that voter services are open and that the bank is open, and it's hard for you to be able to get the money to run for office. And so, especially in House seats, if you want to continue to see working class people run for office, being a sustaining donor is a great way that you can facilitate that as a person who is one of their supporters or a person who's in their base. And so, Kyle, I would love for us to just ask the audience to match donations. So let's go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and donate $25 to a candidate that I like running in Chester County, Danielle Farrell-Otten. I'll donate $25 to her campaign. Who can match me in the audience $25 to donate to her campaign on ActBlue?
And I'll donate $25 to Carolyn Committa. How about that? And if you can do that too, or let's say you just want to donate to the party. Well, we actually have a link below if you want to donate to the county party, because while each candidate needs funds, the party needs funds too. I mean, because the candidates are each they're each advocating in their own areas, but the party is kind of the glue that holds that all together. And just to let you know, we have meetings coming up. Depending on where you live, you can just, they're not even in person anymore. They're like Zoom calls. So if you live in an area, go on the Chester County Democrats website, which we'll also have in the link below, and they'll tell you what zone you're in, and then you can find and plug in, or heck, just message the page. Just message the page, send us your address, and we'll take care of that for you.
So join a local phone bank. Join Drop Lit, sign up for poll work, because we really need to get our Democrats out and get our Democrats elected.
Or maybe you're a creative. Write a song, get people's attention, do what we're doing, go online. Look, it's gonna take all of us. If we wanna make an America that we, not just in America, our community, a Chester County that we wanna call our own, that we feel belongs to us as a generation. This is ours. Right? We need to do the work to make that happen. And the numbers are there. I mean, that's the straight up thing. For all the, the shenanigans that go on, at the end of the day, whoever gets, or at least on a local level, whoever gets the most votes wins. And we need, the Democratic Party needs working class people like you to show up so that we can make it our party.
Absolutely.
Because it is our party. But we need to make it our party.
We're the party of the people, and the people need to start running for office and really shaping America to be an America that better represents us. No more people left behind by political establishments. That is a thing of the past. We really want to represent the American people, because we know what everyday American life is like. I understand how it feels to feel disenfranchised by the political system in general. Like when people say, oh, I don't understand why people don't vote. I would be lying if I said I didn't understand, but we really can change that by voting. I know that there are just some times where you're like, how is this going to change my life? Things are already just so bad for me, and it seems like no one cares. But that's why you have to be enfranchised, you have to be involved, you have to be able to shape this kind of stuff. No one is ever going to give you power. No one's going to represent you if you're not advocating for it, because they know they don't have to. We need to fight. We need to continue to push Joe Biden on his campaign promises, right? The public option, all those things, but we can't do it if he's not in office. And we already know that Donald Trump is going to continue to disable healthcare for Americans. We need to fight for housing as a human right. We need to fight for living wages and racial and gender equality and equality regardless of immigration status. Some of the biggest things that Democrats are really pretty aligned on. I know we're not aligned always on how to get there, but we're pretty aligned on this stuff, and Donald Trump is just going to ruin it all. Imagine, right? We've dealt with Donald Trump while he has to run a re-election. Imagine how America will be if Trump doesn't have to run for a second term, right? That's mask off Trump, and
Yeah.
who even wants to deal with that?
I don't want to see that, and we can stop it. Our generation has the power to stop it. You have the power to stop that. And so I'm asking, get registered, get involved, get to the polling place, or send in your vote, but get involved.
Thank you. And once again, the link to donate to the party will be dropped below. The link to Danielle's campaign is dropped below to match me at $25, and the link to Carolyn Committa to match Kyle at $25 will be dropped below. Those are simple ways that you guys can get involved today and continue to raise money to have our champions in office. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Make sure you vote on November 3rd, and have a good night.